Hey, with you Evening Story Channel, I post new interesting stories every day. Subscribe and click the bell to not miss it.
It was a hectic day at the trendy restaurant sales, and no wonder they were preparing for the wedding of the century, as the celebration was ironically called by the staff, a rich surgeon from a private clinic, the son of the chief physician and at the same time the nephew of the mayor of the city, was getting married. The mayor himself, Mr. Barkley, was a man arrogant and uncontrollable. Because of the huge power and mad money rumored that his wife ran away from him and hid somewhere abroad, and Barkley, not thinking twice, went on a wild goose chase. It was the presence of the scandalous mayor at the wedding that made the atmosphere tense. "Oh," Lord, have a hard time, the receptionist complained, "such a scandalous to look for. And remember how he poured borscht on our cook's head for the fact that the soup was dissatisfied, reminded the cleaning lady I was terrified. You can't go against such authority. For him, we are just dust on the road." But only one employee was calm and clearly carried out John's orders. The owner of the restaurant was decorating the hall to receive guests. It was a young waitress, Kelly Real Beauty, and her name only emphasized it. "Kelly," said the receptionist, "the flowers have been delivered. I don't know how to arrange them. Help me." "Okay, I can do it," answered Kelly, and in a matter of minutes created such a decoration of living pioneers that everyone marveled. "You have a real talent." The guard gasped. "Not for nothing Ivan Ivanovich cherishes you so much." "Thank you," she smiled. "I cannot let him down. After all, he hired me and literally saved me." Remembered the day when she came to the sales. At that time, the girl beat the thresholds of many employers. But no one wanted to take a girl without experience and good education. All she was able to finish the accounting courses at the local college. And what could an orphan without financial support afford? Kelly's mom died of oncology shortly after her daughter graduated from high school, burned out in just 6 months. Kelly was only 18 at the time. It took another 6 months to complete an economics course. They wouldn't take me anywhere with Kelly's credentials. They required a higher education and work experience. She and her mother had lived poorly before. Her mother worked in a roadside hotel as a maid, for which she received a small salary. The girl helped her naively, believing that so they would be paid more. But she did not know that she would face the usual human greed. "Mom, where is Dad?" She asked her daughter more than once. "The teacher said that for Father's Day, Dad should come, and the kids are laughing at me." "Let them laugh," sighed the mother. "Your daddy died on a special mission. You are the daughter of a hero, and do not pay attention to stupid people." And Kelly calmed down. I guess her daddy wouldn't want her to give in to malicious gossip and let her down. Mom didn't always work as a maid. She used to be a midwife, but she quit after Kelly was born. "Mom, why don't you go to work?" "Midwife again, because it pays good money." Her daughter asked her once. "None of your business." Abruptly cut off the conversation, mother, and do your homework and go to bed. Lie down. More. In their small family, the subject never came up. The prom was coming up, but Kelly was in no hurry to attend. Did not order a dress from the dressmaker and did not pick up shoes in tone, not because she did not want to, but simply did not have the money for all this. The girls in the class constantly teased her for her simple clothes, plain shoes, no makeup. A stricken Kelly was sometimes afraid to go to class, doing without a high school grade. Thought she'd rather help her mother than be embarrassed in an old dress. And the mother was completely absorbed in thoughts of where to get money. She paid no attention to her daughter's suffering. If she knew what mental anguish Kelly undergoes at such a tender age. But misfortune does not come alone. Her mother was diagnosed with cancer. There was no money for treatment. At the Freed Hospital, the doctors did everything they could, and soon Mom was gone. Dying in Kelly's arms, she was angry to say something but never did. Death took her in its arms. Kelly was alone. Grief was crushing her. You need to move on. Someone told her neighbor to take a course, then get a job, and I'll help you get a survivor's pension. I'll have an extra cup of soup for you too. The rest is up to you, sweetheart. So Kelly pulled herself together and did as the kind woman told her. At first, Kelly thought that finding a job would be no problem, because the course had promised her that employers would welcome her with open arms. A week later, she faced a harsh reality. None of the 24 offices did not want to hire her, and days and even called Kelly Snotty Rod. and only the elderly owner of the restaurant sales, where Kelly came already with a broken heart from resentment, to serve a non-executive employee. "There is a place, waitress," said Ivan Ivanovich. "I hope you are not afraid of hard work. Our salary is appropriate. In addition, visitors give decent tips." "Thank you," exclaimed educated girl. "You see, I won't let you down." And Kelly didn't. To everyone's surprise, she quickly got used to the new place and attracted her coworkers. Very soon, the friendly, pretty Kelly. Regular customers appeared. They specifically sat down at the tables served exactly on. "I won't. I'm eating that soup," shouted the little skinny boy. "Eat it." "Not stubbornly, sternly," said the man. "Mom won't be back from her business trip for a while yet. You want to, not eat chips." Kelly walked over and smiled at the little boy. "You know those kids who eat soup here are supposed to get ice cream," she said. "That's true." Rounding the kid's eyes, "I'd get ice cream." "Of course," Kelly confirmed. And in front of his astonished father, the kid ate not only the soup, but also the porridge. Then he handed the empty plates to Kelly and demanded his reward, while the boy enjoyed the promised dessert. Kelly brought the bill for payment, finding no item on it frozen. Dad wondered, "Do you really have such an option as a gift dessert, neighbors and soup?" He asked Kelly. No. That was my idea so your son would finally eat." She whispered, "Don't worry, the ice cream is on me." The man was impressed by Kelly's kindness, and that gratitude was reflected in her tip. When she opened the menu and saw the charge, she realized that the satisfied parent's tip was more than her paycheck. Treat people the way you want others to treat you. As Kelly's mother had said to her, these wise words the girl remembered for the rest of her life, and also from her mother she passed on a rare ability to recognize the mood and state of mind of people. Therefore, the restaurant guests were delighted with the quality of service and a teacher from a young waitress. Kelly's financial situation improved noticeably, and with it her mood improved. One day, coming home from work, she heard someone squeaking near the cage of the house. In the bushes sat a small puppy and looked at Kelly with eyes full of fear. "Hello, little one," she said affectionately to the puppy. "Will you come with me? Will you stay with me?" "Don't be afraid, I'm a friend." She took the puppy in her arms from behind Chagall into her little apartment. A puppy. Kelly named him Evening, not just because she found it late at night, but because the purse was a dark color. The next day, everyone in the restaurant knew that Kelly had a new tenant. With the owner's permission, the girl carried her pet scraps from the kitchen. She was glad she didn't live alone. Such a beautiful girl as Kelly could easily find a boyfriend, but her principal character did not allow her to marry anyone, and she was left to watch other people's happiness. On the day of the wedding gathered all the local elite. At the tables sat luxuriously dressed ladies in fabulously expensive jewelry, and their beau only did that talking about business, without noticing anything around. Kelly glanced around the room. She had the feeling that people weren't here for a wedding, but for a business meeting. Even the bride and groom looked like plastic, and the guests were gathered here not for the soul, but because it was necessary. At a separate table sat the mayor of Barkley. He was a heavyset man about 45 years old, with your fat cheeks and your intense stare. Even his expensive suit didn't make him look any better, but apparently Mr. Barkley thought otherwise. Considering himself an irresistible lover of women of elite wine, "Kelly, I have a responsible task for you," Ivan Ivanovich said quietly. "Will you serve the mayor's table? Others cannot cope." "But I'm afraid," whispered Kelly. "He's so scary." "Kelly will get a triple bonus," promised the owner. "Nothing to do," she agreed. And the mayor had already spotted a pretty waitress and wagged his finger at her. "Who's the pretty one we got here?" Barkley began. "Why haven't I met you yet?" "Hello. My name is Kelly. I'll be your waitress tonight." With a tremor in her voice, she said the standard greetings. "Tonight you will entertain me. You're going to help me have a memorable evening. So my first wish," said the tipsy mayor, "to go dancing with you. And then we'll have a Brundershirt and leave this lovely wedding at my house. You want to come to my place?" "I'm sorry," as calmly as possible, replied Kelly. "We're not supposed to sing and dance with guests, and I'm not going anywhere with you. Will you be ordering anything besides the food on the table?" I took out my notebook and got ready to write it down, but instead, the mayor grabbed her arm and pulled her toward him. "You don't understand the first time, do you?" he shouted. So everyone fell silent and turned in their direction. "Some beggar thief dares to contradict me. Who are you to talk to me like that?" Ivan Ivanovich came to the rescue with a bottle of the most expensive cognac he could find in the restaurant. "Excuse me, Mr. Barkley." He tried to calm down the drunken mayor without understanding the situation as the misunderstanding came out. "Our establishment apologizes for the actions of our employee. She is new to this place. Please accept this 30-year-old cognac from me personally." It was not enough to apologize and humiliate people, so he started playing dirty as usual. "And why is this one sticking up for her?" shouted the furious mayor. "Maybe she's your mistress. Here you are, a model family man, warmed a little lecture. And this beggar's brother needs your money. I'll do as I please. I said she's coming with me, so she's coming with me. And I'm gonna shut your restaurant down. You're gonna go away, you old fool." At that, the drunken mayor grabbed John, shoved him, and started kicking him with his legs. Kelly rushed to the elderly man's aid, and the boot kick landed on her arm. Other waiters then ran up and helped their boss up more. Kelly could not tolerate the antics of the drunken guest. She went to the stage and grabbed a microphone. "Attention," the girl said, and all eyes went to her. "Today you have seen the real face of Mayor Barkley. This man hates the common people, is steeped in corruption, and has run our city into the ground. The street is drowning in garbage. Hospitals and schools stand unfinished. Personally, I'm passing a vote of no confidence in him. And I'm not afraid of you, Mr. Mayor. And that's why I'll be filing a complaint with the governor." Neither the wedding guests, nor the offended Kelly, nor even the mayor himself noticed how everything that happened at the wedding was filmed. Apparently, not only Kelly was against the unconscionable actions of the mayor, so the video of the official's antics immediately hit the net, went viral. The mayor's behavior caused a wide public outcry and a storm of indignation among people. Barkley did not even have time to sober up, as he immediately began to receive calls from business partners, public figures, and even the governor himself. So it was necessary to bother to write a statement. The punishment itself caught up with Barkley. The governor summoned him to the carpet. The desire for amusement and rudeness immediately fell away from the official, and he hurriedly left the wedding, rolling under the glances of the people like a beaten dog. He realized that his career was over. Only then the guests and staff of the restaurant breathed a full breath and really began to celebrate the joyous event. Kelly, having calmed down, plowed between the tables, leaving a pleasant impression on the guests. However, the scandalous video saw not only the governor millionaire Stephen. He owned a chain of large trading companies and was known as a man of business. When he saw Kelly, he was speechless. Maria shouted to his wife, "Look, there's a girl who looks just like our late Jenna. How is that possible?" Maria walked over and looked at the computer screen where Kelly was standing on stage with a microphone in her hands. Maria turned pale, clutched at her heart. It seemed like she was about to faint. It is she, as mesmerized," repeated Maria, after scaring her husband quite a bit. "She came back to me, my girl." "What's the matter with you, Maria?" Stephen was scared shitless. "Our Jenna died in childbirth." "Wake up, what are you talking about?" Maria sat down on a chair and lowered her arms. She was afraid to look her husband in the eye, but she couldn't bear the secret any longer. "Listen to me and try to understand. Remember when you were under investigation and sat in the detention center, I was pregnant. You and I were going through a bad time then. I even gave birth without your support. I thought you'd be in prison for a long time. I'd have to raise the baby alone. Well, Jenna wasn't born alone then. She had a twin sister. The girls looked exactly alike, and I was really scared that I was gonna have to raise 2 kids at once, and I got depressed. I was crying all the time, worrying about you too. One midwife volunteered to help me. She couldn't have children, so she wanted to take one girl for herself, and I agreed. We swore we wouldn't tell anyone about it. She took the baby, quit her job, and left town. Now you know everything. I won't judge you, Maria," quietly said Stephen, and stroked his wife on the head, and did what she did. "Let's fix this mistake together. Find our daughter, and take her away from there so that no mad rich man will dare to lay a finger on her. I'll take care of that." Mary looked at her husband gratefully. That night, for the first time in years, she finally slept peacefully, relieved of her mental burden. The next day, there was a knock at the Kelly house. Evening ran to the door first and began barking, chasing away the strangers, whose scent he could smell through the door. "Who's there?" Kelly asked. "It's me, your daddy. answered a pleasant male voice. Kelly froze, thinking it was a prank. She looked through the door peephole and considered. Talk to this man in a strict suit and coat. He didn't look like a prankster. Kelly cautiously opened the door and saw a woman beside him, tears running down her face. Come in, the girl said in surprise. The guest walked into the room and sat down, looking around the dwelling. I am your real mother, Maria said. After you were born, I gave you to your foster mother, separated from your twin sister. There were good reasons for that, and I hope you will understand me someday. My name is Maria, and your father's name is Stephen. We know your name. You're a celebrity, Maria smiled. What a beautiful name your mother gave you. Where's my sister? She died a year ago because of a bad birth. Wiping her tears, said Mom. And now fate has sent us you. Kelly couldn't say a word out of shock, just flapped her eyes, staring in amazement. Her father was the first to come to his senses. He came over and hugged his missing daughter. It's gonna be okay, daughter, he said quietly. I'm so happy I found you. Daddy, I can't believe this is happening to me. I've dreamed so much about having a father. Mom said you died like a hero. Tears came out of Kelly's voice. And with them went all the childhood pain and resentment. Pack your things and your friend, Dad said. You will live with us now. I'll introduce you to your nephews or sister's sons. They are still very young. They're a year old. It didn't take long to convince Kelly. She packed her suitcase with the essentials. She put a leash on the puppy and was ready to say goodbye to her old life. Stephen's private jet with a precious passenger on board landed in the south where his family had a residence. When Kelly saw the luxurious mansion, palm trees, and outlandish flowers, she was at a loss for words. Get used to it, her father said. This is your life now. A young man with 2 babies in his arms rushed towards them. When he saw Kelly, he stood stiffly, unable to say a word. Maria smiled, noticing her son-in-law's confusion. Oleg, this is Kelly, Sveta's sister. Hello, stammering, said the young man. Glad to meet you. These are my sons. The little ones immediately pulled their hands to the dew. She took them both, looking at the children's brows with pleasure. Mommy. Suddenly one of the babies said. Another repeated after him, patting Kelly's face with similar hands. Everyone froze in surprise. Well, Mommy, so Mommy said Kelly, and kissed the twins on the top of their heads. Would you like me to show you a Dobby? And Kelly did. Holding the twins tightly, stepped into a new life, full of happiness and love. The important thing is family, and the rest is nothing, Kelly thought. She looked around. Behind her were her parents and mesmerized by the girl's beauty, her future destiny. But Kelly didn't know it yet. She was just happy now, and nothing could change that.